What you're looking at may seem like an ordinary pond in Florida. Quiet, still, almost peaceful. But beneath the surface lies one of the most dangerous underwater cave systems on Earth. A place so deadly that divers have nicknamed it the Mount Everest of Cave Diving, a place where a single mistake can become fatal, and where even highly trained professionals have lost their lives. On October 15, 2016, two experienced cave divers entered this underwater labyrinth. Their names were Chris Rittenmeyer and Patrick Peacock. They had the training, they had the equipment, and they had explored challenging caves before, but neither man would ever return to the surface. What happened deep inside Eagle's Nest? And how did two skilled divers vanish inside one of America's most feared underwater caves? This is the tragic story of the Eagle's Nest disaster. Deep within Florida's wilderness sits a sinkhole known as Eagle's Nest. From above, it doesn't look threatening. In fact, it looks surprisingly ordinary. But once divers descend below the surface, everything changes. The cave quickly drops into darkness. Passages twist through the limestone. Some tunnels stretch hundreds of feet underground. Others narrow into tight restrictions. There is no direct access to fresh air, no emergency exit, and no room for error. The deeper a diver travels, the farther they move away from safety. The danger is so well known that a warning sign was installed inside the cave. A sign that reads, "Stop, prevent your death." Most people would see that warning and turn around. But for experienced cave divers, Eagle's Nest represents one of the ultimate challenges, a place of incredible beauty and incredible risk. On October 15th, 2016, three divers arrived at Eagle's Nest. Among them were Chris Rittenmeyer and Patrick Peacock. These were not beginners. They were experienced divers who understood cave environments. They knew the risks involved. Joining them was fellow diver Justin Blakely. The dive began normally. The team entered the water and started their descent. As they moved deeper, sunlight slowly disappeared. The blue water turned darker. The cave became silent. Only the sound of breathing remained. At some point during the dive, Justin stayed in a shallower area. Meanwhile, Chris and Patrick continued farther into the system, deeper and deeper still, into one of the most challenging underwater caves in the world. At extreme depths, everything becomes more complicated. Every breath matters, every decision matters, every second matters. The divers must constantly monitor their equipment, their air supply, their navigation lines, and their surroundings. Because in a cave like Eagle's Nest, there are no second chances. Somewhere within that maze of flooded tunnels, something went wrong. Exactly what happened remains unknown. There were no witnesses, no cameras, no final communication, only silence. A silence that would soon alarm the diver waiting above. As time passed, Justin expected his friends to return, but they didn't. Minutes became hours. The cave entrance remained empty. At first, there was hope. Perhaps they were delayed. Perhaps they were exploring another passage. But as more time passed, concern turned into fear. Experienced cave divers know their limits, and they know how important timing can be. When Chris and Patrick failed to return, an emergency response was initiated. Search teams were called, and a dangerous recovery mission began. Searching Eagle's Nest is a challenge in itself. Rescue divers must face the same hazards that trapped the missing explorers: extreme depths, complex navigation, and total darkness. Every movement requires precision. One mistake could create another tragedy. The search continued through the night. Friends and family waited desperately for news, hoping for a miracle, hoping the divers would somehow be found alive. But experienced rescuers understood the reality. The odds were becoming smaller with every passing hour. Then came the discovery. The following day, search divers located Chris Rittenmeyer and Patrick Peacock deep inside the cave system. Both men were found approximately 260 feet below the surface, in one of the most remote and dangerous sections of Eagle's Nest. The search was over. The outcome was heartbreaking. Two experienced divers had entered the cave, and neither had made it back. The exact sequence of events may never be fully known, but the tragedy served as another reminder of just how unforgiving cave diving can be. Eagle's Nest remains open today, and it continues to attract skilled divers from around the world. Many consider it one of the most beautiful underwater caves ever discovered, but beauty can be deceptive, because hidden beneath that calm surface is a place that demands absolute respect. A place where experience alone cannot guarantee survival. For Chris Rittenmeyer and Patrick Peacock, the journey ended deep inside that darkness, far from sunlight, far from the surface, inside a cave that has become legendary among divers, and a tragedy that will never be forgotten. If you enjoyed this documentary, be sure to subscribe for more true stories of cave disasters, diving mysteries, and survival tragedies, because sometimes the most dangerous places on Earth are the ones hidden beneath our feet.